there, YouTube. We are back with some more Matchplay commentary for y'all. I'm joined by the Highwayman, the Kaiju King, TJ.
I'm the Wolverine now.
Oh God, what skin you got on there now?
This is the Deadpool movie one. I was I was in a game earlier and we were doing quick play because people were just trying to do like their missions or whatever, right? And Jasmine, my friend, she's like, what are you gonna play, TJ? And I'm like, I'm not TJ. I'm the Wolverine now. That's what I said. And then I locked in Wolverine. And then I proceeded to steal the Doctor Strange over and over again, and he had a really fun time.
I can just imagine her reaction to that. Oh my God.
Yeah, it was, and I quote, "Oh God."
Yeah. Yep. There it is. But we've got some matches that were filmed over at Dean's Dugout for y'all. If you don't know, this is the local card shop that we go to every Sunday for Digimon. Started about 12:30 p.m. So if you're in the Chicagoland area in nearby Naperville, Illinois, feel free to check them out. Dean's Dugout, we would love to have you. Today's matchup features Jacob on the left playing Purple Hybrid going up against Will, who is playing Gallantmon. So this is, I think, the first, major EX-08 deck that we'll have on the channel for you guys. We're still working on getting our pieces, so do bear with us. But we are going to be, I think, in full swing later this week with definitely some more decks to showcase. I've got a deck profile for Gallant live for our members today, but also should be live for the public on Wednesday, so be on the lookout for it. But Gallant is definitely a very strong deck this meta. It's definitely going to be very prevalent, and I've done some preliminary testing with it, and it is really, really good. So a lot of Gallant coming up for you guys. But anywho's, hopefully you guys enjoy this video. Let us know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. And without further ado, let's hop right into the round.
Have you had the pleasure of playing against New Gallant at all yet?
Yep, I've had the pleasure of playing the mirror, and by golly gee, Gallantmon X is strong. Holy
dude,
moly.
yeah, I had Sonny punch me in the throat with it earlier today. And
I think another underrated card too is the War Growl X. Being able to say,
it's
look,
so much.
You can't bounce me, you can't bottom deck me, Mirage. Go F yourself. Yeah. And by the way, I'm gonna pop a 10k and buff myself up too. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, and then the fact that Gallant has access to DP reduction now is massive, which I think is something we both said. Like early days when we first saw that card, we were like, oh, Gallant having DP reduction is actually crazy because that's just like the best form of removal in the game next to the Digivolve.
Right.
Because there's just so few counters to it, or it's just, it's just like there's nothing that stops it.
Right. So Sunny is getting some setup here. Will, not Sunny, sorry. Getting some setup with the boost, picks up some pieces, getting some chip damage in with those little Guillemons too. In classic Will fashion, the deck is on its way to being blinged out. Mad respect.
Could be.
And we see Jacob swing with the Uko. Uko hits a Gil X. So on deletion, we can pitch a card to gain a memory off a Cupid. We can go ahead and hatch into a... Looks like it's a Tsunamon going into a Psychmon. Then we go Dusk, changing the Guillemon into a blue Digimon. Going into Velger. Go ahead and mill. Looks like just one. And it should be swinging in at a grand total of 9k, and we do live. Hitting a training. So go ahead and pop. We gain a memory off of the Koichi on deletion. Looks like we chose to play out BT7 Koichi as well. So just kind of typical Purple Hybrid loop shenanigans, which, I mean, I do think as to be like a little bit like pros and cons here, right? Like I talked a lot about how Gallant is really, really good. And I mean, if you see the line, like there's a lot of removal that also like by the time you get into Gallantmon X, more often than not, your opponent doesn't have a board. So you just end up like trashing security, restanding, swinging multiple checks, and just like slicing through everything. But it is still an OTK deck, and it does require you to like have pieces and setup. So I mean, it still will struggle to like typical like brick mechanic, right?
Right.
So if you have a deck that is faster, for example, Purple Hybrid being one of them, you can still rush them down and just kind of beat them down a little bit faster.
Yeah, no, I would
so
agree.
we'll see. Yeah.
There is things that stagger them. They there's definitely, I think people have learned how to play into it a lot better as well. Like I think it was very much a boogeyman early days, right? And now people have learned just to sort of tech against it or counter it. People have learned what decks have good matchups against it. And Gallant's just so hard to deal with.
It is.
Because Gallant's gonna just they're gonna stack deck, right? So they're gonna just mostly chill in the back usually until they're ready to do their whole thing.
Ooh, my.
That is huge. That is so
Holy.
big for Will. So it's a lot of potential memory.
That is a lot. Yeah, those blitz staccatos are huge. They are huge.
We
Okay.
already have what? We have which Guillemon is that in Inheritables?
That's I believe it's the Papa 3K when attacking.
Okay.
We go into the War Growl with the X antibody underneath. Since something was deleted, you can suspend the 2 staccatos, gain the memory.
Yep.
You go into the looks like BT13 Gallantmon here. We'll go ahead and
Blitz
swing.
Brush. 2 checks.
Hmm?
The War Growl X2 just giving you sec +1, just like just having it is huge.
Yeah,
It's so big.
100% agree.
Because Gallant for so long had to like work hard to find ways to deal with to do the extra chip, right? Unless you were like the ST Gallant, which was just kind of a worse Gallantmon at this point. But being able just to have that inheritable and being able to stack that with your Gallantmon effects to still trash security and do other stuff is just huge. It's so much potential damage. Oh, okay. So we do have the ace play here. Leads against the memory. Yeah. Throwing trash
Interesting.
one.
Yeah, I mean, that is true. I mean, going against a heavy purple meta, I mean, you're going to have a lot of stuff in trash. Once you hit the crimson mode, if you can keep that guy on board 1 extra turn and swing, more often than not, you're trashing multiple security.
Yeah, we have another dusk here. Changing colors of the
problem
Takato.
is we're going to pop that bad boy.
Yeah, 3 more mils. And now that, yeah, it's about to gain a lot of memory. Which really all he just needs is another hybrid to swing with. Yeah, no protections. He does leave.
Bring back Dusk off of the
Yeah, and then we should just
effects
overflow.
of Inheritable. You overflow a ton, and then you can just hybrid for game off the mat.
Excellent. Yeah, just any hybrid.
Any hybrid, brother. There you go.
There we go. All right.
All right, so
Yeah,
we see
all
Purple
right.
Hybrid take
Go to
game 1.
2. Yeah.
Yeah, that is like in the testing that I've done, both against the mirror and like other stuff, like Gallant is really good. And I think, like I said, like you do a lot of board control and removal. So your Gallant X typically ends up just like swinging for the fences, getting through security pretty quickly. But I still think you do struggle against like just tempo if you can't find the right pieces. And like you said too, I think we still have the luxury of being a little bit behind JP. You know, that's not going to last for much longer. But we've known about Gallant X. We've seen tournament results. We've seen also just like match play of it. So I think our players have definitely like learned on how to play against it, like you said. It's going to be interesting once we do get the unification to see like how that all changes, because we're all going to be on the same timeline. I think that's going to be super exciting.
I'm so excited. I feel like the game will feel so much more fresh, everyone learning stuff at the same time, instead of us going into like pre-established metas.
Yeah.
Where we're basically, we already know what's good, right? We already know what's good. We know what's doing well, how the lists look. Like instead, we're going to have to cook ourselves. Like we're going to have to figure everything out. Like we're not going to just have like JP pre-establishing things. We're not going to have people like everyone will be theory crafting at the same time. And it'll be cool.
Because I mean, how many times have we been like, yeah, like it's competitive season again. It's like, I don't really care to play test this set. I'm just going to go on Drazzle and like skip 2 sets and start practicing. You know, like
Yeah.
that's not gonna happen anymore. But anywho's, we see Will starting to build a line in the back, and then we play out the Gil X just to search, which is a great searcher. It's a 3-drop. You get to cycle, pick up pieces, pick up an X antibody. And the inherent's pretty good too. And we see Jacob go into a Loey off of the, looks like it was the mat, if I'm not mistaken. So that was a 3-cost Evo. Pitching a Kaiser. Go ahead and swing, going into said Kaiser.
Yeah, which does Evo 4 cost. It does Evo if Kaiser has a cost, which Evo for 1.
Wargrowl X.
Does hit a Wargrowl X, so it'll leave the board. And we see Jacob just getting some good early chip in. The Gallantmon would normally matter for some decks, but not for Gallant.
Yeah, Gallant just says
no
that's
problem.
cute.
Gallant gains memory before deleting things, not before. So.
But it looks like Will might just be a tad bit stuck.
A little bit stuck. Yeah.
It looks like we just went ahead and yeah, we go scramble though. Okay, so we go into scramble, we go Wargrowl, we both mill 3. Will can then play out a Takato, and that's it though.
Go to 3.
Yeah.
I have to wonder if it was. I understand the idea of wanting to get the Takato out there, I guess, but I wonder if it was worth pushing up here if we didn't have an answer to things. Because I feel like if we weren't going to push aggression or get a body established, yeah, because this is what.
Well, we do still have the Gil X, so if we do a Velgar play here, the Gil X is the one. Whoa, oh, actually, wait.
Well,
it's purple. He can choose to pop the Gil X, and then you pop the Wargrowl. That's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, he can clear Will's whole board right here. So we do swing. He does live. End of attack. Oh, he
chooses to pop himself, which may
he
not.
Doesn't know. I think.
Yeah,
I think he just doesn't realize.
Yeah,
a little bit of a misplay on his part. Yeah, Jacob could have. Jacob, if you watch this, Velgar's effect just says delete a level 4 lower purple. It does not have to be yours.
Yeah, which is a very like nuanced thing to like, because the wording of it is like kind of very subtle.
Yeah.
But it's definitely one way to clear the board for sure, right there.
Yeah, it was just the Gallantmon that he just evoed into in the back, right? That was the same one that he hit in security. Well, not at least that's not the card, but like it was that same like printing.
Right. So yeah, now we go into a Gallant. We can pop an AKD Pureless Digimon, which will go ahead and pop the Gazi. We will gain memory back off of the Takato and the Gallantmon X inheritable.
Yeah.
So now Will can do some crazy things.
Yeah, the world's kind of his oyster right now.
Go ahead, swing. We are 3k buffed. We do live against a Duskmon. Crack the boost. We'll go ahead and looks like, go into a Gallant X for 1.
For 2. I think.
It's for 1.
Okay.
Nothing was deleted, so we trash top guard of security. We can go ahead and restand. Got 3 memory. What can we do with the 3 memory? Now, a Crimson Mode Ace would go for 4. So he would have to, like, in theory, like, scramble into it to potentially save turn. But we do just go Growl in the back, and we go Wargrowl to set up for next turn. I think that's fair. Gallant X isn't affected by Jacob's effects right now. Or Digimon effects, at least. Option cards are able to dent the armor just a little bit. So we end up pushing Gabu up, gain the memory, going to 4. Looks like we're just kind of mulling over what to do next.
We should assuming we have the hybrids that we need, we could potentially have game this time.
Right. Now we do have a Matt and a Koichi, so
he would need like a Jack.
He would need a Jack raid. Yeah.
I think he has one in hand.
The only other thing would be you would have to be worried about a Crimson Mode Ace, but I think if you sequence things correctly, you don't worry about that.
Yeah, I feel like you swing with the Gabu here first. You don't Evo yet, because I feel like Evoing here, now you're at risk of just losing both bodies without getting the swing, and you're just putting yourself a check behind.
Right.
You do get the mill. Right. It's a big mill off of Velgar because of how many colors, and he's going to be a big guy.
But that still doesn't... Do we have it? That's the question. We don't have it.
Or
we're choosing not to do it.
Yeah, because we're protected.
We're
from Digimon
protected.
effects, so we're fine.
Yeah.
So, Will maybe just opting to leave it here because thinking maybe since Jacob didn't swing with, I guess we were getting the memory off the on deletion. So yeah, he would actually have had enough. Oh, it's crazy. Yeah, he might have just because of the on deletion of the Koichi getting him a memory, that would have given enough memory to get the other swing in.
Yeah.
He would have put. Realistically, if Will does have the Crimson Mode Ace in hand, he would have put Will at probably 0 security and still would have just kind of been stuck there.
Okay, so we go into the Rihi for a cost of 3.
Yeah.
Rihi's effect. We'll let him play out a Tamer. Looks like we're debating the BT7 Koichi there, so we'll draw 1, trash 1, pitching a new Koichi. The question is, does he just go for it? But I mean, the Rihi can't swing now. No, it can.
You have.
It can.
Yeah, the Rihi can swing because the mat was on board. But it looks like we're debating if we want to. We could de-digivolve it actually. We will swing the Gabu.
See a Takato come out. Will's looking through the cards.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe he's just like trying to like fake.
Yeah.
An ace.
We see Jacob debating the Venus play. We just go Venus. Check -1 to the Gallant X because right now, technically, yeah, I mean it's still if you have less than 0 and Will's at 4 now, so
yeah. Well, it's just like it lingers, so you know.
All right.
Trying to
Interesting.
see if he has the Crimson Mode Ace in here. Okay, he does have it.
Yeah. Okay, so it's Will's turn at 4.
Yeah,
he can
does
go.
have Sec -1.
He does have Sec -1, and when Digivolving doesn't proc this turn.
Right.
But he does need to do some board control here somehow. Question is how. I mean, the one question would be to just swing at the Gabu, right? And then just hard drop an ace. But that just gives up so much memory.
You could do that. The thing here is that he needs to set himself up in a spot where he doesn't have to worry about because the 2 Koichis in the back are scary.
Yeah.
He needs to be able to choke to 1 off of whatever he does here. That's the first thing he needs to be able to do. Because then even if Jacob Jack raids, then he's only gonna be able to get 1 swing through him. We can at least ace that, but he has to also answer the board at the same time. So it's just tough. It's hard. It's a weird spot to be. Okay, we go Wargirl X.
Well, because another thing too, and correct me if I'm wrong, Venus's effect would actually be thwarted if he blitzed, right? Because if you pass turn, if say for example that Wargrowl X becomes a Gallant X, and you blitz
no, blitz is still your turn. Yeah.
But if you have 0 or less memory, you're not affected by Digimon effects anymore, right?
Oh, I guess technically.
So technically, you then are able to like get around Venus's effect and blitz and start doing some things.
Yeah, you could.
But we just go ahead and
which now he has 0 or less memory, so now he's unaffected, so he's able to perfectly map that out and be able to put. Yeah, you're right. You were right, Brother Bear.
I guess that testing didn't go for nothing.
The minus is 4 and then delete something 10 or less, so it does clear that. He does have the ace in hand still, which is good for him.
Yeah.
The Matt was able to hit back on board. Oh.
Yeah, we blitz. Yeah, blitz, trash, and go ahead. That's game.
I don't think he should have had game there though.
Why not?
Because Venus's effect still lingers, and he's no longer Gallant X. So the Sec -1 reapplies.
Correct.
Venus's effect is a blanket. Yeah. So technically that should not have been game.
Technically, I think that might have just been Jacob's to take right there because even if you ace it, you just have another hybrid ready to go next turn.
Yeah,
the next
swing.
Evo, yeah.
I'm pretty sure he had 2 Dusks in hand.
Oh yeah, no. With how much he was drawing, I'm sure he had 2 hybrids. So yeah, that's a good point to point out. Like Gallant X has the immunity, but that doesn't apply to the stack. Maybe we're wrong, and if we are, correct us.
No,
but the way
we're
I'm
not
reading
wrong.
it, yeah. The way I'm reading it, I
alternates,
think you're
so-
right. It's just Gallant X
I
is
am
the
right.
only one with the you are Wolverine.
Listen, I went through a lot today. I'm right about this. I know I am. Okay? It's an all turns effect. It's just like any all turns effect that we have had. It's not a blanket thing. It's not, you know, for the turn until the end of your opponent's turn. It doesn't say any of that. It just says all turns while you have 0 less memory. Yada yada. But he's no longer that card. He's crimson. Or he's crimson. So it's gone. So yeah, it's just a bit tough there for Jacob because technically that shouldn't have ended the game. But we carry on. You get more Gallant X gameplay. Just imagine that didn't happen.
All right, so we push up the Gheals, and it looks like it's gonna be a Gheal rush over here. Oh, okay, no, we'll go into a Growlmon. Gains +3 KDP since nothing was deleted. Then we go War Growl for 3. We mill. We definitely have the 5, and we can go ahead and play out a Takato. Looks like we will play, Takato or Gheal. That is true. We'll play out the BT12 or 17 Takato. Yeah. We do have Blitz off of the EX2.
Wow.
Big guy. Well, no, not big guy. He's 11K guy, yeah. He's 11K boy.
Yeah. I mean, big guy is accurate. It's not incorrect.
That's true. Now the question is, can we deal with the War Growl? That's the question. We go Lowy into a Rihi. We don't have retaliation on this stack, so we just go into security with jamming. And we pass over turn. Bit tough. We go training for 2. Okay. There he is. He's coming. War Growl X. War Growl X will pop the stack. Koichi on deletion will gain Jacob a memory. We'll play out a Koichi off of the Loimon effect. And then since something was deleted, Takata will gain Will back the memory. And then I believe that's it. So it should have been just 1 memory gain. We swing with the X antibody going into a Gallant X. Holy cannoli. So then it's 2 checks. Restand. Oh my lord. What's a little Ghazi man gotta do?
At this point, I mean...
And this is what Gallant X can do.
Yeah. Will's kind of popped off this game 3.
Jack Raid. Okay. All right, King. Go Rihi. I think here you go ahead, do that for 3. So put yourself to 0. Go ahead and play out a Koichi from trash. And then I feel like you could just pass turn here and threaten like a Shadow Seraph Ace if that's in your hand, or bluff that you have it, and make Will sort of work for it. Okay. That's just rude. We go into a Crimson Mode Ace to just get rid of everything. We'll gain memory back off of the Koichi, but I don't know if that really changes anything anymore.
Yeah, no, this is just... Will went crazy. Security's gone.
Now, all I'm going to say is I'm surprised Will is not running the SP Crimson mode that he has.
Especially if he has the...
Come on, man. You slacking. You slacking. But yeah, that ends up being it.
Yeah.
So, like we said, game 2 may have turned out a little bit differently, but, I mean, learning experience for everybody. It's a new set, new cards. Everybody's learning. It's bound to happen. And like TJ said, too, you get a little bit more of... I think you really got to see in game 3 like what Gallant's all about and why everybody is very hyped about this deck, because at its peak, that's exactly what it can do. I mean, Purple Hybrid is known as a very fast deck, and we just saw Gallant X like do laps around it there, which is wild.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Let us know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Like I said, later on this week, we definitely will be looking to get more EX-08 content out for you guys. We've got a lot of stuff in the works, so be on the lookout for it. And we truly appreciate every one of y'all. See ya on the next video. Bye-bye.